Hey, and welcome back to another Watch Party Wednesday with Mitch Holtis. I am BJ Kissel, and tonight we are going to have some fun. We appreciate all of you for spending part of your Wednesday evening with us. And as always, please shoot us your questions throughout this game into the chat room, and we'll get to as many of those as we can. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of those tonight as we rewatch the legendary divisional round comeback win over the Houston Texans.
BJ, this is the classic case of eat your vegetables before the dessert, because we got some vegetables to get through here first. But one of the most historic games in the 100-year history of the National Football League, a game that we talked about and shown for years and years and years to come.
Yeah, this one's memorable. Of all the games that we've done so far, they're going to get more exciting, but this is the one that I kind of had circled on the calendar. This one's going to be a whole lot of fun, and luckily for us, we've got a couple of special guests, starting with one of the heroes of that game as we welcome on veteran safety Dirty Dan Sorensen, who's going to get the ovation right now. Before we get started with this stuff, Dan, just how are you doing right now? How's life treating you?
Doing pretty good. My family and I, we're in Utah, and we're, getting through this the best that we can, making the most of it, and, itching to get back to football whenever that is.
Dan, this game, remembered for this game, but I want to just ask you the culmination of what happened throughout the season. And, 6 years. I remember a scene, you're on the lawn with your wife in St. Joe thinking, am I going to make this team? I can't remember if it was 14 or 15, but I remember seeing you at that point kind of being the alpha, and then with this game and on to become a world champion, just the journey it's been to get to this point.
Yeah, it's been incredible, and lucky been with the Chiefs the whole time, all 6 years, and can't say enough about the organization and Coach Reed and all the coaches. They've been so good to me, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of that Super Bowl win and this playoff run, this turnaround kind of playoffs where we start down in each of these games and fight our way back. And so and that made it that much more enjoyable, I think. And we'll kind of see it. But this is one of my favorite games.
That makes a lot of sense. You mentioned those 6 years. And I've got to ask, because I don't think I've asked you this before. And now that you've had some time to digest it and kind of maybe look back and see what this particular game meant to you, you played 4,688 snaps in your career, and for a lot of fans, it's going to be whittled down and remembered for two. At least at this point, it's going to remembered by two of the plays that happened in this game. When you hear that, is that something you enjoy, or is it kind of like, hey, I played a lot of snaps, I've more than just these two?
A little bit of both. I was glad that I could make two big plays in this game to kind of get things turned around, but. Yeah, I also kind of feel like there's other contributions throughout my career or throughout the season that were beneficial to the team as well, and I'd hope people would remember. Under the circumstances, the plays that were made in this game ended up having a huge impact, and so I was glad that I could be in that position. You say the snap count, and you might have this stat, but I took 108 reps, 108 snaps in this game, which is a career high for me.
And you were all over special teams, obviously. But now I'm going to be in your defense. I'll remember the Breeze pick 6 and 16. You had more catches from Phillip Rivers than Keenan Allen, all right? So I'll bring that up too. But I want to ask you about doing the Dirty Dan little things in this game, because we're going to see – And BJ was on the sideline. He'll vouch for this. When we're down 24-0, I said, all it takes is one play, something to light a fuse to get this going. And BJ, you remember me saying that, so I'm not making it up. But you make a great block. We're going to see it on the kickoff return of McCole Hardman, 58 yards, that just got everything rolling. What about staying mentally in this game and mentally tough to go, okay, I've just got to do one little thing here to help us roll?
Absolutely. And I would speak to the leaders of our team because we had great leaders that instilled so much belief in all the players. In that moment, we're down 24-0. Nobody lost faith or hope or belief. And when very easily, you could have been planning your off season and packing things up. I mean, who comes back from 24-0, right? So the leaders on our team, leaders on the defense, just instilled such great confidence in us. And yes, all it took was just one play to get things rolling. And I think this kickoff return was that.
As we get ready for the kickoff here, Dan, I know you're never going to give yourself credit, but while Mitch is up on the radio booth making the calls, saying all those things, I think I was standing behind the bench in the middle of it, and you were looking at your teammates saying, focus. You know, everybody's got a different style of leadership, and you had a very intense look on your face. You were very much locked in. We know Tyrann Mathieu's a certain kind of leader. Frank Clark's a certain kind of leader. They got a lot of cameras on them with everything they do. But from being that close and seeing the guys who are keeping guys locked in and focused like yourself, those shouldn't go unnoticed, or those stories shouldn't go untold either. So let's get this thing kicked off right now as we rewatch the 2020 AFC Divisional Round win over the Houston Texans.
Dan, these are the vegetables. Now, this is the cooked spinach we got to eat before we get to that kickoff return, because we got to watch the first 24 points of this game.
Uh-oh.
And fans, don't forget, let us know in the comments if you have any questions. We'll get to those, as many of those as we can.
Yeah, that there's probably a lot of excitement and a lot of anxious energy coming out in this game, I think, and it showed early. That's why, sometimes you can be too passionate or too, excited for a game, and that could be a bad thing.
Do you find it easier later in your career that you don't get as hyped, that you can calm yourself a little bit more? Or when you get into this time of the season, it's just like, it was the first time you went out there in one of these games?
No, yeah. So, I've been to the playoffs each of all but 1 year, the 2014 year season where we missed the playoffs. Other than that, we've been in these situations. And so that experience you rely on. And I think we've had quite a few young guys on the team, young players, that this was a bad coverage by me. This is what I'm talking about, being a little too excited and about this first playoff game and jumping something, and they hit us over the top. But yeah, there's a lot of guys that do have a lot of experience, playoff experience, and it helps a lot. Yeah, bring the young guys along.
I take it as this beginning, you were just helping exercise the demons of Chiefs playoff pasts. You were just letting fans be like, oh, here we go. And then you guys just like, nah, this is different now.
Yeah. Yeah, well, and that's the belief, right? That's the confidence I'm talking about is, you look at it, it's like, that score does not reflect, what kind of team we are, how good we are. It was shoot, hey, that's just a number. We're a better team than them. Let's go prove it.
But how much did they set you guys up for that bubble release? Because they ran the bubble earlier. I mean, we got to give them a little bit of credit here, because it looks like they just set up that play.
Oh, absolutely. And, during the week, we had pinned them as a big screen team. And so, everything that we had practiced, they gave it to us, right, just on a silver platter. And, we jumped all over it. It was good game planning by them. Oh, this is ugly.
So much easier to watch this knowing what happens after the fact.
The result.
It's like, it's fine. It's fine.
Although, BJ, give Lonnie Johnson credit right here, because his day gets miserable after this. All right, He gets this touchdown, A-gap. Look out, A-gap. But after this play, it's a bad day for Lonnie Johnson, just saying.
Say, Kelsey had the drop. Sorensen, you mentioned the play on the coverage right there. You guys are just setting yourselves up for the big comeback after that. But we got a question from the chat room. Gutsman85. Dan, are you sad you won't be picking off Phillip twice a year anymore now that he's left to go to the Indianapolis Colts?
Yes, I am. I am sad. Phillip's been good to me over the years. Been real good.
I still think one of the best plays you've made in your career was the interception at Qualcomm in the end zone where you jumped over the defender. I don't remember what year it was. They all kind of run together. Mitch, you'd probably be able to tell us everything about that play, but that's the play. We talk about other contributions you made. That's the first play I go to, and then the Superman sack or jump you had against the Eagles a few years ago going after quarterback?
Yeah, I think it was 2016, both of those.
Okay.
Yep. I remember too, BJ, the greatest play that didn't happen. You go make an unbelievable interception against the Jets that didn't count because it was out of bounds. If I recall, you like fly like Superman and get this interception, but you didn't have 2 feet in bounds. I thought, oh my God, just give it to him because it's such a good play.
That everybody was getting interceptions that game. I think we had 6. DJ returned one to the house.
Yeah,
that was a fun day.
I remember you running oxygen to DJ at about the 20-yard line because he was out.
Yeah. Put him on your back, carry him in there.
This was weird. Like we were just drop passes and
so uncharacteristic of us, which I think we rallied behind. That was something to say, hey, look, this isn't us. Are you kidding me? Like, hey, we played the worst football, and if we just get back to what we do, then we'll be all right. So, I think benefits of it happening really early and being very uncharacteristic of us were almost helped us, kind of gain some confidence. Say, hey, we're better than this, and let's go show it.
BJ talked about the sideline. Rick Burkholder talked about Mahomes going over to him saying, hey, we were built for this. And actually, in reviewing this game, I'll give Tony Romo some credit. He said if there's a team in the league that is tough enough mentally to overcome something like this, it's the Chiefs. And back to that sideline at this point where just maybe it could be panic or chaos, or you said, hey, pack the bags. Just how tough was this team mentally throughout the year to get to this point to weather this?
Yeah, it was kind of, the story of our season, right? We started off all right, then we kind of, had this period where we didn't play as well. We didn't play our football. And then at the end, we started picking up momentum. We started really trusting one another and started playing really good football. And, that's kind of how the playoffs went, right? Slow start, and then we kind of build on our confidence, and then we finished fast in each of the games. So, and then that's the coolest part, because all of that is the trust and the confidence in your teammates and the guys around you.
And I want to ask about that because you have an interesting perspective because you've been here throughout all of Reed's tenure, and you were there, and you're a veteran, you're a leader, you're a guy in that room that's played a lot of snaps, as we see, the icing on the cake, I think, of all the miscues here in the first half. But, when Steve Spagnuolo showed up and the confidence that you guys played with and the ability to kind of bounce back from a game like this, not to compare, years past, but just kind of the mindset of where this team was at this year in the first year under Spagnuolo and how you guys were kind of able to overcome this compared to where you guys were at maybe in the few years prior. Just what is it about this leadership, about the guys you brought in, about the way you guys came together throughout the course of the season that allowed you to have the mindset knowing that you could come back and turn things around like within a game?
Yeah. I can't give enough credit to the coaches in instilling in us that mindset of, hey, look, this is a first-year defense. We've got new coaches. We've got a lot of new players. We've got a long way to go, and we have a lot to prove, because going into the season, everybody knew what our offense was capable of, and they're going to score points. What's the defense going to do, and all eyes were going to be on us. And we kind of took that as, let's go out and let's prove them that we can be a top defense as well. And we knew that, there was going to be some growing pains, some learning. The coaches needed to learn the personnel, us as players, what we're capable of, what we're good at. And that evolved and developed over the season as we kept kind of chipping away and hammering away and chasing this mindset and this goal of being a top defense and being somebody to be talked about, right? I mean, everybody wants to talk about the Kansas City offense, but nobody had given much respect to the defense. And so, over the course of the season, that's what we were chasing is some respect and, trying to be an effective phase for our team to go out there and get the ball back to our offense. And I think as our defense improved, our team improved. As you go on the year, our defense kept getting better and better and better, and we started winning and winning and winning. And so yeah.
They showed Coach Reed here, and you've been around since 14. One of the things that I've learned to appreciate about him, Dan, is that, he's like a battlefield commander that stays strong no matter what. And even globally, we could go through flashpoints of every year since 14. I heard you talk on an earlier podcast today about that start in 14, 0-2. But Andy does not panic. He stands there like a brave commander. And this is another instance where everybody's going to glance at him. You can all talk and get all fired up on the sideline, but everybody takes a look at how's Coach doing. How much does his ability to stand firm no matter what, not in a game, not just in a game, but overall, help you guys?
Yeah, it's tremendous. He stands out in front of us. He's in front of us in the front lines, right? And, he goes to battle for us with the media and answering questions and having our backs. And the dude works harder than anybody I've ever met. And he's said before, he's challenged, come in and beat me here in the morning. I challenge you to beat me here in the morning. Watch more film than me. Spend more time here, right? And you got to love a guy that is giving everything he's got to his players and the team. And you want to just go to battle for a guy like that. And, yeah, you see him on the sideline. It doesn't ever look like, the moment ever gets to him. And he's always, they're encouraging you. Come on, let's go. Pick it up or let's fire up, and you can really rally behind something like that. And he's amazing.
I got to ask because Coach Reed gets up there and challenges, and one of the players that I noticed that was always sitting in the players' workroom, which is now Dr. T's office, he used to sit in there all the time. If somebody was going to challenge him of watching the most film, it had to be you sitting in that room. How do you feel now that your players' workroom's gone?
I know. I actually, it was a bit of a challenge this year to try and figure out a good system of watching film and getting those hours in. But I figured it out.
Yeah.
That being said, one of the great, because I think Matt Tyron put it out on Twitter, when you're in there late at night at the Super Bowl, watching tape in the DB's room, and it was cool that he put it out there because it gave it out. Here's the return, and your block makes this happen. It just needs one thing to happen, and this just turns the entire game around. What were you thinking on this kickoff return?
Yeah, and I remember talking about it, and we all kind of, as players, I remember kind of agreeing, hey, Coach, let's run this return. Let's run it. Come on, I think we can do it. And he had the confidence that this is Coach Toe, but he had the confidence in us to trust us. And us as players, we told McCole, hit it. Just hit it as hard as you can, and it's going to be there. Just trust it. And it was, and he hits it hard, and look at that. He just blows it wide open and gets the ball rolling. Here we go. It's about to snowball.
When in doubt, find 87.
Well,
got to get things rolling. Just find that guy.
BJ, we've had the spinach. Now bring out the creme brulee because this gets fun.
That pass, we talk so much about his accuracy and hitting guys and stride, and we get enamored with the big throws all across the field. But even these, he just sticks this on the hip. I mean, Damian Williams barely gets his head around. That ball's right there. He's good.
You gotta love too how quick that they respond too. I mean, it's 2 plays and it's a touchdown. Boom. They don't waste any time.
And they go 59 seconds. Then the second one's a minute 49. Then a minute 25.
Before we know it, Mitch, we've got to set it up. We've got to allow it to breathe because we know what's coming here. And I'm going to preface this. We've got a message from Chase Handley. It says, Dirty Dan, Chiefs Kingdom absolutely loves you in all caps. I think he knows what's coming. And you've talked about this before as we get ready for the fourth down here about the way that Justin Reed was kind of walking and just kind of walking around, something that you said, I believe, tell me if I'm wrong, that you kind of noticed from film study that's not something that he would normally do. And then it kind of clicked you in it. Just walk us through this.
Here we go.
Yeah, on this play and throughout the year, I'm always looking for something like this. And you can see him just slowly kind of get in position as he goes to the other side, which is something he didn't normally do. And ball snapped, you got to react, and came up short. I remember looking to the side just to check, just to make sure that he was short before I celebrated.
I loved it, though. You're like stalking your prey. As he was walking over, your eyes never left him.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be used for like every high school and college, like everyone across the country is like, you got to stay alive. You got to be Daniel Sorensen. You go win a Super Bowl.
That's the Tyrann Mathieu. That's the I'm too smart.
BJ and I have got to make the pact with you, Dirty Dan. As long as we live, we'll never let people forget that play. Kendall Gammon said, he goes, it could be the most forgotten play of this entire Super Bowl run because that just changed the game. And here's Lonnie Johnson today. He should have just run up the tunnel and said goodbye to the back line because this is brutal on him because this is just tearing him up.
Yep, there's Travis again.
And it falls incomplete.
Didn't that almost seem like the same play?
Pretty close. You've been on the other side of this. I mean, now this thing is avalanching on Houston. So in the minds of their defenders, you can start to see it when they show these close-ups of like, oh, no, what do we do here?
Yeah, and something that C. Suggs had told us that I'll never forget, a guy that's got as much experience as he does, is he told us that momentum is huge in the playoffs. Huge. And so with us being able to take the blows that they gave us early on, they hit us in the mouth with 24 points and didn't knock us out. We come storming back, we had all the momentum, and that's what's so important in these playoff games.
Yeah, we've got another question from the chat.
Hey, run, Darwin, run. You can get a touchdown on this. He slows out, Dan. What are you doing?
I don't know what he was thinking. He looked like he'd never seen the ball before.
He's like showing on the ball like, oh, no, pylon, run, fast, go.
Oh, yeah. He didn't want it.
What about Alex Brown helping you on this play, too? Because there's a guy signed off the street late in the year, and you guys team up to knock the ball out here.
Yeah, he came up huge. And what a momentum, just you could just see, you could just feel the momentum in the stadium just change. I mean, it was electric. Look, there's another touchdown coming, but it was fun because it at first 24-0. I don't know if the fans had the same belief that we did, in ourselves. But man, the crowd it was so much fun when we started rolling.
It's a good question for the chat room to let us know, like, when did you all start feeling confident? It was right here on this touchdown that got us in 3 points. Just when did things start to turn for you? Because I think I remember talking with Mitch, you and Dan during the broadcast, and it was after that fumble when we got the ball back here. It's like there's too much time left. Like you start to fold, and you knew that with the Texans, with the decisions that they were making, the mistakes that they were making, the crowd getting into it, the hype just kind of building, that you guys were running all cylinders at this point.
Yep, this is exactly kind of the turn of the momentum, and like you said, you could feel it, and you could see it in their demeanor, in their face, and they're like, "Uh-oh, we've awoken a monster."
21 points in 3 minutes and 24 seconds.
This just would have been like, I was watching this earlier. If that had been like the way they cap it off, you'd have a statue outside of Arrowhead Stadium right now.
Yeah, that would have been sweet.
A nice hit.
Did you think you had it, or are you going, it's probably blown dead, but I'm going to make it look good?
Yeah, it's one of those where you're like, it's probably not, but let's just do it anyways. They'll make a mistake every now and then, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you can just see even the defense just playing with a little more swagger. And
how about this? Maybe this was the point where I was like,
where you could just see them falling apart. You're like, they've lost it, and to go back to it, this is the experience, right? This is the experience that we were able to rely on, that we've been in this situation before. Maybe they hadn't necessarily, so that advantage to us.
Explain how impressive of a play this is from Honey Badger right here, coming off the inside route. I mean, what does it take to make a play like that?
It's unbelievable, and to make it clean, right? To not have a holding or a grab or a penalty, because that would have been huge. You get a pass interference, shoot, they're down in there, but a huge stop on third down.
They've scored touchdown on drives almost 50% of the time as they go deep.
Yeah.
And this is like 4 plays in a row where Lonnie Johnson's like, I got no shot, and Kelsey's just eating him alive, Dan. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He's looking over at Matt House. He's like, you didn't have guys like this in Kentucky. Like, I didn't have to cover guys like this. Yeah. How many receivers get an extra 11 yards on that play to be able to pop up like that and accelerate?
Only one. just Tyreek.
I don't know how many of these shows we've done, Mitch, but we talk about hidden yardage all the time. And just this 11, 12 yards extra right here. Like,
and this is just now Kansas City's figured out how to run routes versus the
just his quickness. And
more play before the 2-minute warning. Houston trying to bring a blitz, but it is picked up, and Mahomes has a whole world in front of him.
And Dan, this will drive a defense crazy when a quarterback.
That's a dagger. You got a quarterback that can get out of the pocket and put 20 yards on you. That hurts.
You always talk about momentum and making mistake, and it wasn't a clean game. There's a little mistake right there from Sammy Watkins where in years past you'd feel like, we can't make any little mistake. We can't overcome these. It's like, you're in a mistake, just go find Travis Kelce. You're gonna be all right. Go make a throw in double coverage, just like that. You're gonna be fine.
You can get Travis the ball and get him going. It's nightmares for a defense. I mean, then what do? You try to start double teaming Travis? Well, shoot, there's 4 other dudes that are going to get the ball and score. Well, and Travis will still get the ball double team.
Dan, it's coming up here, but I have fun watching this because Tyreek Hill blocks J.J. Watt on this touchdown. This isn't it yet. And J.J. Watt's running out of oxygen here. But this touchdown is coming up because this isn't it either. But I want to ask about the little things that have to happen. We're talking about you doing the little things on the kickoff return. Watch Tyreek Hill here blocking J.J. Watt. This is awesome. That's one of my favorite plays of the whole deal. It's like, it looked like a one-on-one blocking at camp. Pass protection.
That's what I love about our team is nobody's, too big or too great to do a job like that. You look at Tyreek and he could easily just, let him go by, but nobody's, we're all in, and guys are willing to do whatever, and that's what's so cool about this team.
I want to think that he did the toe drag on purpose to keep his leg back. He's just that. We watch it in slow motion to know that, that's within inches of his foot coming across the line. Right there, just dragging the toe a little bit. I like to think that he did that intentionally.
Oh, that's awesome. Look at that. Before halftime, we're going in the locker room up.
Roller coaster.
Crazy.
You guys got to get one more stop, but what are you thinking as you run up to the tunnel going into halftime after taking this lead?
Wow. couldn't believe how quickly things had changed, and fortunate that we were on top. But from here it was like this game's over. This is our game. We're not looking back.
It's everybody. We always highlight the guys that make a few plays. You can't bring everybody, but there's Tano making a play, makes a couple other ones late. Like, everybody stepped up at different points and made plays in this game.
I love TK barking at Watson too. That was fun.
I was going to mention it earlier. You saw 49 get there and get in somebody's face a little bit earlier. That's my favorite thing, is your guys' personalities, and that you're nice and you're calm, but you get on the field and just these switches flip, and it's always fun to watch.
Yeah.
All right, Dan. That is all we've got for the first half. Daniel Sorensen, we appreciate your time for joining us on the game that helped continue the legend of Dan Sorensen here in Chiefs Kingdom, man.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate you.
The best, buddy. Well done.
Super Bowl champion and veteran safety Daniel Sorensen, like we said, played just under 4,700 snaps so far in his career, and those two in the first half will be talked about, and we'll go down in Chiefs lore. And right now we've got another special guest and somebody that always makes plays in the second half, particularly down the stretch, as we welcome on Super Bowl champion Frank Clark. Frank, how are we doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. Just hanging out with the kids, working on the car, man. Just some regular stuff,
Well, thanks for spending a little time with us. This is fun watching you in this game because the Shark is on the loose. We're going to see if you get like 3 sacks on one play.
Oh, man, that was a pretty dope game. Yeah, I kept missing them, man. That was actually a pretty exciting play. I didn't realize how long it was until everybody started talking about it. I kept missing them, and I was like, man. I remember thinking the whole play. I was like thinking literally while it was going on, like, this play is so long. Like, every time I missed them, I got back up like, man, dude, like, come on, Frank. Like I was doing, like, I need to finish that. You know what I mean?
Well, most guys, when they run a 300-yard shuttle, when they're done, they're kind of tired. You just keep jogging right off the field. Like, you just got unlimited energy. Remember, if you got questions,
man. I'm trying to keep up, man. I got to keep up with my kids.
Remember, if you've got questions for Frank, let us know in the chat room. We'll get to as many of those as we can as we get into the second half here. Again, this is the AFC Divisional Round game, obviously against the Houston Texans.
Frank, this game, what were you thinking the sideline? Because we had Dan on the first half. This thing was going crazy, 24-0, and then it just flips 7 straight touchdown drives. But what were you thinking down 24? Like, okay, this has got to turn.
Well, the first thing I was thinking was just like, man, wow, whew. Again, you know what I mean? It's like, we have been in that position so many times during the year, and you got the games where you're in that position and you lose, then you got the games where you're in that position and you win. And it's just been in that position so many times. I felt like we all kind of had the same energy at some point. It felt just like, man, this ain't the way we need to end this. This ain't the way the season's going to end. We came too far, like we've gotten too far. And then to get to this game, like come on, like we got much more in this. We gotta, like, at least if we are gonna lose, like we gotta go out better than we going out. And that was the thing, you know what I mean? And from that moment, once we all made that switch, I can say we, because obviously everybody made a switch, and it just, everybody took their game to another level, and then it was just exciting. It was exciting to, as the guy out there, playing it, but then as a guy who actually got a chance to watch it when I had time, you know what I mean, and just watch how everybody just watch the look in past eyes, watch the look in those receivers' eyes, in our running backs, and then the rest of it, the defenders. You can tell Honey Badger. You watch that game, you watch Honey Badger. We lost the first game against the Texans. If y'all know him, man, he was hot. He was pissed. Like, man, the locker room I'm talking about, the locker room was silent that week, bro. It was, and you went in there, and it was like, man, the way that boy played that game, you can tell he that was one game he wasn't gonna let himself lose or let his team lose. So just watching how everybody play, man. I'm watching Mike P, that's my dog. Mike P came on so strong. Mike Pennell, my dog, man. Big 6'4". He came on strong, man. Look at me, man.
Look at this guy.
My head, like a chicken with my head cut off. Look at him. Get him there. Yeah, got him. But no. Look at him.
Jogs up.
Like a chicken with my head cut off. I got him though. But no, yeah, just it was just exciting, man. At that point in the year, you know, we was playing strong football, and then, you know, like I said, just to start off like that, and then, you know, it was great to see.
But you just kept showing up in Deshaun's life. Like I thought he was gone. He's back. He's gone. He's back.
It's like how many 55s are out here on the field? Every time I turn around, he's waiting for me.
I know it's like, oh, man. I was just like, man, I was like getting dizzy chasing him around. You know, I hit the ground like a few times, so I was like, all right, if I hit the ground one more time, I probably won't get up. So I need to go ahead and finish this off.
How about Kels? Because he comes back from a hamstring injury in this play. He takes Houston's whole team for like 10 more yards, but he had been hurt right before this. How about the year he had and the toughness he showed, Frank?
Man, Trav, man, he's a hell of a teammate, man, and just a hell of a competitor. You know, just to watch the guy go out there, you know, it shows why he's the best tight end in the game. You know what I mean? And he goes out there, he competes, he fights for his team, he makes the sacrifice. You know what I mean? When you talk about a guy who's willing to risk it all, you know, a guy willing to put his body on the line, literally, for the sake of his because he knows he knows how strong we are when he's on the field. He knows how strong we are in the type of how strong and better he makes that offense. So the fact that, you know, it shows, you know, and guys can get hurt or how much, you know, not just, you know, and I don't want to take away from other guys who are fighting and, you know, going through their own things, but, you know, it just shows, you know, why he's one of the best, like I said, man, and fighting through it all. Now he's a Super Bowl champ. I mean, he can keep on adding stuff to the resume now.
You're a Super Bowl champ too, Frank. We got a question from Casey Staton Jr. Frank, how do you think you will feel when that ring gets on your finger?
Oh, man. Man, I don't know, man. I'm gonna hop on Instagram or something on the live, or I'm gonna do something. I might take a nice picture of my finger because y'all know which finger is going on. So I'm gonna take a nice big picture, and I'm gonna make sure everybody see that, because I don't know where it's coming from. What they say, Tiffany's or something?
Something like that.
They going to Tiffany's? Yeah, I need some Tiffany diamonds, if you know what I mean, on that good finger.
Or Jocelyn somewhere. Yeah.
Jocelyn, I don't care. Jocelyn, Tiffany. Hey, I don't know who it is. Keisha. Hey, I know that ring so look nice and almighty on Frankie's finger. Me and Cody Reed go take a nice picture with them side by side. You know how we do.
Hey, Frank, save another finger for the next one. You may get another.
I got 5 of them. 5 for one hand, man. I'm chasing Kobe Green. I appreciate you.
Maybe it's just me, but every time he even throws passes like that, I'm just assuming that they're going to be completed at this point. Just throwing across his body all over the field.
Oh, man. To watch him do it in practice is even more amazing. Like, I watch him do this stuff so much, he get in the game and he do it, and be like, oh, man, that's, you know, that's how we see it. Everybody else, like, you know, you looking down, looking at a defensive play or something, and then you look up because everybody's screaming in the stadium or ooh and wow and stuff because Pat did, you know, what Pat Mahomes does. Maybe.
Let's not act like you were intimidated. Mitch and I talk about it all that first day of OTAs all the time. You're walking in there and we were like, I wonder how, you know, Frank and Tyron are going to kind of insert their leadership, their new guys in here. Like, I wonder it's going to take a little bit of time. And then it was like, what's that noise? I just hear this guy screaming, this ain't last year to this record-setting offense during OTAs. You guys set that tone from the day you first stepped out on the field, man.
Yeah, we have to really just come together, you know, and that's the one thing I know about just being a teammate. It's just once you got all guys on the same page, you know, you don't really know what your heights are. It's really not a level or ceiling, you know. The ceiling's off, the roof is off. So it's like, if we can, I always say, like, if we can come together, if we can figure out these plays all together, you know, and click and understand what the next man doing a little bit more, and understanding with the back end. If I'm a D lineman, I can become way better if I understand what my DBs are doing during the play. I'm gonna understand how much time I got to actually rush or pass or understanding situations and understanding 3-step drops compared to a 2-step drop with a quick and throw or stuff like that. If I got to get my hands up compared to continual rush, just the little things and man, I just got into football. I'm sorry. I try not to get too deep. That's why, man. Sorry, that's how.
Yeah, you're good.
Just roll. Go with it.
Nah.
Yeah, this is a bad idea here. I don't know what they're trying to do here. They're trying to slow you down, Frank. It didn't do any good.
Hold on. Oh man, what? See, look,
it was like we're running reverse passes and all kinds of crazy stuff. But you talk about getting better, and this defense came together. It's just we see these every week when we do these watch parties. But what I like, and I talk about this all the time, so does BJ, how the respect between defense and offense. You've been at high-level programs all your life. Football teams can get fractured, man. This team comes together like the defense helps the offense and vice versa. How rare is that really to have that on a team and have that kind of influence, both guys helping or both sides helping each other?
Honestly, for us, man, it only makes us even greater. To have we say the best offense in the game, and us as a defense. How much better we can get by just challenging ourselves day in and day out when we come in. And just challenging them to be the best that they can be. Challenging Pat to work harder, challenging the offense. The receivers and challenging our running backs to run harder so they can run through tackles more and be stronger down the road. Hit them now, hit them early, so that when they get to the game, they're not soft and they not, what I mean. Then those are things we do. We compete. Coach Reed, he doesn't shy away from us. Competing in practice at the highest level, so that when it gets to the game, it's a little bit more natural for us. At least, that's how it is. Look, we balling right there, but well, we was balling, baby. Some boys right there.
Say a few times it looked like we were talking a little bit. We were talking a little bit to you guys out on the field. Is that just you talking, just getting yourself going, or were they chirping a little bit at you guys?
Who?
Well, it looked like Carlos Hyde was chirping at you at the last one. He didn't appreciate how you hit him at the end of that play.
Man, that's all I be telling them boys. Man, you mess with the boy, you get the horn. Okay? That's what they hey. Listen, I ain't here to bother nobody. Okay? I'm just here to play football. If you're in the way, that's your problem. Because I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna make a way. I know my boys gonna make a way. So you mess with the bull, you get the horn. And I tell them all, I start the game. They started with me first. If anybody ever doubting it, or if you want to know, I don't start. Okay, it's always them. Okay. I don't do it. It's not me. I just I entertain it a little bit. I like to entertain it a little bit. I probably got the most warnings in the NFL. Okay.
Frank, I was in Mexico. I was on the sideline.
Man, you might call me there. It was a little, I don't know. It was the I think it was how high we were up. The elevation to have my stuff off a little bit. Couldn't think straight.
That makes sense.
Here's where Fish makes you proud here, because Bell gets his touchdown, Frank, and Fish immediately grabs those beers and does his little imitation. But
I'm getting a picture.
Pretty quick thinking over here.
I'm getting a picture of that. Oh man, I was lit when Fish did that, man. Oh man, I was so happy because I was like, wow, Fish. That's how you supposed to do it, baby. That's what I need. I need that energy right there. Because you gotta understand, man, we playing a sport where, we work so hard, through the week, when we in class and stuff like that, you get to the game and it's time to show some character. It's time to have some fun. It's time to, let it out. You never know, man. You never know what that does for your teammate, for the next man. You know what I mean? You never know. He might be having a bad day in life and at home or whatever's going on. And, he get to that game where he's able to be himself and hit, in most of our minds, or he's able to just do him and have some fun, be on the field with his boys. And man, you got your dude out there celebrating, having fun. You're like, oh man, yeah, it's lit. It's my turn now. I got to go out there and have some fun there. So it all just make it all better as a team at the end of the day. So I love seeing stuff like that. I love seeing emotion and guys' character come out.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think he got fined for it too. I'm like, wow, it's this worse stuff that's going on. We the best entertainers in the world. Don't let nobody tell you all different now. We the NFL, specifically the Kansas City Chiefs, man. We the best entertainers in the world. We're gonna win some championships. We're gonna win a Super Bowl for you. We're gonna make sure those things happen. But we're gonna have some fun. It's football, man. You gotta have fun. You got a lot of kids watching. Want to have fun. We know that, but at the end of the day, it's all fun and games. It's nothing serious. It's nothing,
How much has to do with Coach Reed? I mean, we talk about it all the time. You get asked about it, but his ability to show your personalities and for you to kind of embrace the different personalities on the team and the way that Eric Fisher celebrates may be different from the way that you celebrate, but you love everyone being their own self out there on the field, just kind of manifesting that passion for the game in whatever way they can.
Man, it's dope. Like you said, because everybody's different. You know what I mean? Everybody come from different places and different backgrounds, but we all the same because we a team. Like everybody's the same. So it's like you don't gotta hide that emotion or hide that part of yourself. Like let that out. Let it show. It's gonna inspire the next, man. Truly. I know my energy inspires, a host of people. I got kids, I get videos from all type of kids and all type of people across the world saying, what just energy does for them, my energy at times. So, I just do it purely from the soul, man. I got a good soul, man. I'm just a good soul, some good energy trying to pass it along on the field. When I get a little aggressive on the quarterback, gotta don't fault me on that, but
they always start it, right? But they always start it.
They started, man. I try to be cool and might give you a little love tap, hit you a little bit, boom, little pushover, shove or something. But they start talking crazy and stuff and think they can juke me and do all that stuff. That's when I gotta go play them down a little bit.
We got another question from the chat room from Mike Osborne. What was the Sharks' goal coming to the Chiefs, and what things are still left to be accomplished?
Man, my goal coming was just coming in. I said it was to help the next man out. I understand it was a defensive line work as far as the education part. Them understanding how to play the defensive line, how aggressive you got to be, how you got to set the standard of every game, like. And just bringing them younger players alive. I seen that it was a lot of younger players at starting positions. Just not just the D line, but the defense in general. You got our corner 3-5. You got who else? Colin came in. You got big Noddy inside. You got all these boys. You got Sleep. You got Shad. You got 2-7. You got I can keep on going. All these younger guys who if you're an older player, and I told myself better earlier than later into me being that vet. I didn't want to wait until I was year 8, 9, 10 to be, this guy who a player could look to for guidance or for understanding. Because I know that's one of the biggest things that guys have a problem with when they come into the league is thinking, I'm in the NFL now and I made it, get that complacency about themselves, and then you find yourself in this jam because, you're not playing. Now you feel like I'm not good enough. Now everything starts to, the trickle down effect of, now he's the next one out the league. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of the goal I feel like I've been wanting to have. My goal with this NFL, I feel like my role outside of producing on the field is slowly becoming is helping these younger guys. And, as the younger guys come in, they're going to come in every year. I'm only going to get older. And I got to basically, start walking these other guys and making them understand, your time is coming. So that's what I'm on.
And Frank, as a follow-up, and we're watching these, I was on national shows too, and they go, well, you've had your run. Hey, that's good. I go, whoa, wait a minute. Our defense is going to be like really better next year, a lot better. How much better can this defense be? Why you saying what you said about the younger guys and getting integrated? And where do you guys go from here as a defense and getting better?
Ooh, Almost got him. Hold on.
Stay with him. You're gonna get him again. I mean, it's just getting
Oh,
started.
I'm gonna catch him. My bad. Oh, I was about to get him. He couldn't block. Boy,
Like,
y'all can't block me.
seeing 2-7 out there pushing 10 around.
We got them first
Well,
game. That's what we got first game, huh? They coming to
NFL
my.
did them
They
a lot of
coming.
favors.
They coming to my crib too.
Yep.
No, that ain't gonna happen. But can you repeat that question one more time for me,
Yeah,
brother?
getting better. I keep telling people this defense could get a whole lot better. And we talked about it with Tyron too, of getting a whole lot better in 2020. Just how much better can you be, and where do you guys go from here defensively?
Oh man, it's a lot of room to improve. You know, it's a lot of room to improve. We did a lot of good things. You know, we made a lot of big plays, and we did. You know, that's what's expected. You know, when you got some of the players that we have, you know, it's their job, and you know, you have to make those plays when they come to you, and then the ones that don't, you got to be extra and make them too. So, but there was a lot of things we didn't do well that we know, and it hurt us. You know, particularly earlier in the season. And sometimes later on in the season, where you watch some of the games, we might have let a running back get off a little bit more than we would like, but might have won the game. But of course, you know, in that defensive meeting, you know, we probably lost, you know, one of those checks on the board. You know, might have gave up 100 yards. You know, so it's those things where you know, we want to work on. We want to be the best defense in the league. You know, by numbers, by watching, by film, by every category you can think about. We want it to be like, you know, no thoughts to who's the best defense in the league. And, you know, that's really my goal. You know, my long-term goal for this season, you could say. At the end of the season, I just want to be the best defense in the league. And I know that, you know, can only help our team out even more, you know. And I know, you know, I got my own personal goals, but just on the team goal, I feel like, you know, I feel like we got the players. I feel like we got the attitude, the swagger. So like that's a big part, man. We got some young guys who playing some football with some swag, man. We got swag. Other dudes don't play like us. We out there looking good. We look better than other dudes and stuff. You know what I'm saying? We out here handsome. Our girlfriend's prettier. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, what's up?
You're better
We
dressed.
champs
I know
now.
that
Look,
matters.
COVID
I know that
COVID
matters.
19. COVID-19, you know, it's slowing us down, but hey, we good. We still the champs now. We gotta, hey, you feel me? So this year, it's gonna get ugly out there, but you know, just got a lot of improvements, got a lot of room, got a lot of stuff we gotta fix, and man, I just look forward to it. I wish we was out there right now, you know, so we can see, you know, just see it and you know, bring it all full circle. But man, it just make it much more, you know, appreciative, so that when we do get out there and do get that chance to be back out there and have a chance to actually play football again, you know, and not be in the house like most of us are. You know, that'd be dope, man.
I think it goes without being said, but you made a point earlier about the young guys and bringing them along, and that you feel like your responsibility at this point in your career is to make sure that everybody in your room knows what's going on. And you could say it about the words. Oh, there you go. There you go, right there. You get him in the backfield. You've been chasing him around for a while. But Frank, one of the things that you had mentioned was, you know, bringing the young guys along. And, you know, as much as your words and your presence can do that, I think the fact that you played through what you did, and fans might never know everything that you did to get ready, and not just the pain that you played through, but the efforts that you went to try and get right, with the nerve issue and then the stomach issue and all the different things that you had going on. The young players see that, and they see you as the big trade, the big money guy, and they see you fighting to get out on the field and the way that you approach it. They can't help but follow suit.
Man, and that's all you ever want to be, is motivation for the young guys, you know. That's what I always do it for. You know what I mean? Besides playing for my family and playing for my team and stuff like that. You know, particularly it's the young guys, the guys under me and the generation. I got brothers who play ball. You know, my little brother Christian, he played ball at Alabama State. So it's like, you know, he played D line. I got a guy literally, you know, a few months away from possibly an NFL career, where it's like he don't know nothing to expect. And I'm not gonna tell him, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be hard on him because I want him to understand that it's not easy. You know, and this shit is not like something that you can just walk through the park and wake up and go play every day. Like, you gotta actually put it's time, you gotta sacrifice. All those feelings about hurting, you know, you gotta think about the people who paralyzed from their waist and neck down. I got a best friend. He's actually paralyzed, you know what I mean, from his neck down. My best friend, he's paralyzed from his neck down. So it's like this is someone who I spent a lot of time with and who I see a lot. So it's like when I look at stuff like this and I had conversations with him, and then people wonder where some of my strength comes from or where I get that extra from. It's because I got people like this in my life. I got a guy who I got to look at, who I got to talk to, who I help, who I talk to, and who I look at is completely normal. I don't even think about like, oh, he paralyzed, like my dude, he can't do stuff by himself. He need help. He drinks a straw that moves, like he controls his iPad with a headset with a pointer on. Like, so then the guys talk about how their hands hurt and shit. Or a guy talk about how their hair hurt or how they back tight. I'll be like, man, that's some of the softest shit in the world. But it's like, get it how you live. You know, that's just you. That's just how you make. That's just your makeup. But me personally, just where I come from in my own struggle, it's like, man, I'm gonna play like having the neck. I went and seen doctors, man. Nobody never knew really what happened. You know, I kind of went ghost. We kind of all went quiet about it, kind of avoided. So I went and seen doctors and stuff. I seen the best neck doctor in the world. Went to LA, and man, he told me like, man, I don't think you should play for the rest of the season. I was like, damn, you know, wow, you know, that's something you shouldn't, you know. I was like, oh, okay, but I was thinking like in my head, like, man, I gotta play. Like, I can't see myself not suiting up or not playing if I can physically walk, if I can physically, and I've been playing, I've been at practice. It's just now you telling me that I shouldn't play for the rest of the season. You know, now my neck, it get hurt. I'm re-aggravating it and stuff. But I'm in my head, I'm like, I can play through that. I don't care, you know. But in his head, it's like, man, this is nerve. You know, you can have nerve damage if it just keeps happening or if the severity gets worse and worse. And I was just like, well, shit, nerve damage I'm gonna have because I'm going out. I gotta play some football. Like I got a championship to win. I didn't know then, but I had a championship to win. And, you know, this is what I'm telling myself. So at the end of the day, yeah, that's just how I feel, man. I'm like, man, I dedicate myself to my team, the boys around me, man, and that's it. You know, if they can't see, you know, if you can't see it that way, if you ain't putting it all on the line out there, I don't want to even play with you. You know, I don't want to. If you ain't coaching, if you ain't putting it all out there through your coaching like that, I don't want to play with you. You know, I don't want to play for you because it's like, man, I feel like, you know, everybody can give more. When there's people, like I said, laying down wishing they can do the simple things in life, like feed themselves, or, you know, walk around, or just go drive a car.
The reason that you're a champion right now, man.
Sir.
Man, I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, Frank. Stay on it. We're going to do this again. Coast Guard's got the shark warnings out.
Oh, yeah. I got this shark sign up in my house, man. He got it gone, man. He's trying to walk up to the house. I think he's trying to run. I'm gonna play the shark alarm. Yeah, I gotta get a shark alarm for the stadium.
That's a good idea. I think we know some people. I think we know some people that might be able to pull that off. But Frank Clark, man, we appreciate it. Hopefully we see you soon. And we will be back on Friday with another Watch Party Wednesday Friday version with the AFC Championship game against the Tennessee Titans, where I think, Frank, you made some proclamations going into that one that now Frank just left us. But Mitch, look forward to that Friday night, 6 p.m. Chiefs YouTube page. That one's going to be fun too.
Yeah, and the fans get an idea of what the energy Frank brings, because just turn him loose, man, and let him go. Just like this Watch Party Wednesday is what he brings every day when he comes to work.
Me and you trying to articulate that from going back to OTAs last year, and we're like, it's different. Just trust us. It's a little different. And you kind of get a sense of it during things like that when you don't have cut up interviews and, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's just raw emotion, passion for the game. That's a guy who's one of your highest paid players too. That's why the tone was set early.
Yep, straight sharp.
All right. We appreciate everybody for joining us here on Watch Party Wednesday. Like we said, we will see you again on Friday. We'll have a couple of special guests on Friday as well. Again, that is the AFC title game against the Tennessee Titans as we get closer to Super Bowl 54. Thanks again for everyone for joining us. Thanks for your questions in the comment section. We'll see you Friday.